everybody, it's your old friends of Monday Madness and welcome to the 24th episode of the Jelly-Filled Donut Podcast.
24!
If you're doing what no one
You know what's funnier than 24? 25.
SpongeBob.
I know. And you know what, I'm proud of you for immediately dragging the tone down during my intro. It's great. I'm good. I'm proud of you.
Just let her sit in that for a minute.
She's literally sitting on that for a minute. So I'm sure no one at this moment has done this, but if you're listening to all of these in one big marathon, congratulations! You listened to an entire day of jelly-filled donuts. I suggest you maybe get a shower, eat, and just get a life. To be honest,
Eat a jelly-filled donut.
Yes, do. It's full of sugar. You love it. So guys, this is the final episode of our Sabrina is a psychic threat arc, and it is ending on Haunter versus Kadabra. Which, as we know, is a fantastic spoiler for this episode.
Yeah.
And we will not be told otherwise on it. It definitely happens. Trust us on this one. But yeah, so in the story so far, in case you missed the first two episodes, Ash got his ass kicked in the first match against Sabrina.
Well deserved.
Nearly got turned into toys by Sabrina.
Yeah.
Got saved by another psychic person, which we'll talk to later on, I'm sure. He told us to go to Lavender Town to get a ghost. We technically did catch a ghost, or at least he's joining us on the adventure, one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And we are now armed with a haunter, which I'm sure is going to absolutely do the job for us. So there you go. So our first bit of action in this episode is Ash and Pikachu arriving back at Saffron City, and he says it's good to be back. Bit of a weird.
What?
Yeah.
Good to be back where I had, encounters with psychics and weirdos and have been put in a dollhouse.
It's almost like he's it's almost like he's overconfident or something like that.
Yep.
So he turns to Brock then, who's not convinced by it, saying he might be allergic to ghosts. Which is weird. Like, it's a bit late to be allergic to ghosts when you just walk from Lavender Town to Saffron City with a ghost, as we see.
He could have been saying that the whole time.
He could have been saying it the whole time, in fairness, yeah. And Misty's now beside Haunter, and I find this weird because the first shot is Ash and Pikachu together by themselves. They turn around to Brock, and then suddenly on the other shoulder is Misty and Haunter.
Yeah.
Were they always there? No, you just forgot to draw them in.
Yeah.
You tits. And Misty now goes, oh, I disagree. I think Haunter's cute now. I was like, okay, great. You've got character 180 on you, apparently.
Yep.
So the Haunter snuggles up to Misty. Again, I wouldn't know what that's like, doggo. But happily giggles with it, because that's how it works now. Brock is still very hands-off about it. Haunter licks Misty and paralyzes her. And that's what we would call crossing the line. The cute line, as Misty calls it.
What's it, licking the life out of her?
Yes, exactly. Which again is a bit of a no-no, Burkbot, I think you'll say. I mean, have you had anyone lick you before?
No comment.
So Brock's still very hands-off. Ash chastises Haunter for that and quickly vanishes and reappears crying. Ash reassures it, and there's going to be a domestic here in a couple of minutes, by the way. Reassures it, and Haunter quickly calms down. Ash tells Haunter that there's a trainer in Saffron City called Sabrina who uses powerful psychic Pokemon. He asks if Haunter would help him defeat her. He nods in approval. Mm-hmm. Ash is excited and says the March badge is just as good as his. I love as well the fact that the Haunter had been going with these guys for a certain point without realising why. It's like,
you want me to battle? No, I don't do that.
No, man, I'm here for the dance.
Yeah.
I'm literally here for cans.
Yeah.
Like, I've got hands now.
I just want to get out of the house for a bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Go for a wee float.
Get some fresh air even though I'm dead.
Yeah.
Can ghosts even get fresh air? I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Why not?
Well, if he's gaseous, then probably not.
Probably not, yeah. He's just smelling his own farts for eternity, yeah. That's a fair point. So, next day arrives and the team are at the gym. Ash reminds us of the last battle they had and how Pikachu and him was made to look like a joke, and they really fucking were, to be honest. Yep. Ash says the joke will be on them this time, as he says that to everyone, but Haunter has disappeared. Misty, Brock and Pikachu are aside, holding banners and good luck wishes. I love this, by the way, because all the banners have clearly been edited for the English. Oh, yeah. So there's pictures of Ash superimposed on the banner, and they're clipped to go with. And same thing with good luck Ash and all this sort of stuff. So clearly all the Japanese has been edited out of this, which I found very funny. It's just so jarring to see how brightly coloured they are. Yeah. It's very weird. So yeah, they all have good luck banners and all this sort of stuff. Ash tells them to stop goofing around, asking if they're coming in. Missy says, no. Reminds him of how they were trapped in the dollhouse, and Brock says he nearly got a strike from that ball. And again, dad joke incoming. I hope it'll drive them spare next time. Ash thinks that before he has Hunter now, but that won't happen again. Because Hunter's going to save the day, lads. This is the point of the episode. Hunter saved the day. Rely yourself on a prankster ghost. It always works.
He's basically Peeves from Harry Potter.
Yeah, pretty much. I understood that reference. I didn't. So Ash obviously is confident in that. Brock speculates that maybe Hunter's the one now controlling Ash, and we get a visual of Hunter like puppeting, marionetting Ash, and it's like, oh, that's a good visual. Ash fobs it off saying Hunter and him are pals now, and he wouldn't do that. And Hunter goes, yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't have if I had the chance. Like, just one chance. All I need is one chance. But yes, no, it's fine. They keep laughing around different parts of the screen as Brock and Misty are nervously saying that Hunter looks confident.
Yep.
Ash says there's nothing to worry about because with Hunter, he's got nothing to worry about. Ash says to wish them good luck. For some reason, Ash brings out his 3 starters and asks if they're all ready to face Sabrina.
He wants an audience.
Yeah.
Look at me going to beat Sabrina. You're all going. This is how they all got turned into plushies.
Yep.
From Build-A-Bear. This is what started the range.
Yes, that's exactly it. This is how you launch the merch, is what you're saying. Yeah,
absolutely.
I like that. So back in the gym, everyone's back inside, including Brock and Misty. So we get a bit of a mishap here. It's like, oh, are they coming in or not? Oh, they are. Okay, fair enough. Then what was they arguing for previously? Ash tells Sabrina he's here for his rematch.
Sorry, Ash is just being bullheaded, and they're like, right, we better go in case.
We better go in, or else he won't stop shouting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sabrina's again talking to the little girl, surprised considering her Kadabra humiliated Pikachu last time.
Yep.
Ash tells her not to be so confident for this one, and Sabrina floats over to her place going, oh, I'm intrigued. And the little girl lets go of the ball again. Kadabra goes out to the field once more, and Ash then brings out Hunter. And Sabrina goes, oh, a ghost type. How quaint. And after a few moments she asks where it is. So Hunter's on a runner. He's got stage fright, if you pardon the pun. And he's nowhere to be seen as Ash asks out for him to appear. He keeps looking around, he's looking at binoculars, using a megaphone, all these props that he brought along for this, and it's not happening. Hunter's just fucked off. And Brock...
He got anxiety. You can't be mad at him.
We can understand that. I mean, mental health is very important for ghosts these days, and especially on like such a pressure cooker environment.
Absolutely.
Like a gym battle, you know, it's just...
He could have been killed by a Kadabra.
He could have been, you know, he could have very well been.
That triggered him.
Yeah, he has Kadabra phobia. Yeah. You never know. So
brought him to a Uri Geller show.
He just sees spoons and starts getting really nervous. So Brock quips that the Pokemon got spooked. Maybe he's right. Hunter isn't the most reliable, says Misty, as Ash looks let down. Sabrina says enough stalling. Ash should send out his Pokemon now, or to go back to the toy box. So Ash tries to get Pikachu to go out, but he backs out until he hits the door. Then he sees the other 3 Pokemon out there, goes, hey, one of you try, and they all backpaddle the same way.
In fairness, that got a laugh out of me.
Yeah, it's like everyone's going no. All the 3 different personalities of the Pokemon, all 3 different. Went, no, fuck that. I'm not dealing with psychic types. You can have your shite. So then Sabrina looms behind him, asking if he's ready yet. Ash goes, yeah, no, Gran, I'm just tying my shoelaces. Yeah, don't worry about it. But Sabrina with glowing eyes says the battle will begin now. Which she is kind of in her right to say, in fairness. She is the gym leader.
He is wasting her time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Ash says he quits and runs at the door. To Sabrina's surprise, the Pokemon run after him. Misty and Brock are running as well. And the little girl says, oh, it's fun to play catch.
I'm gonna get you.
You really wanted the fucking Exorcist music to play here, or something, wouldn't you? Like tubular bells in the background. So the shutters come down on the exit, and Brock and Misty realise they're all trapped. The little girl floats up in the air and uses some psychic power, grabs Misty and Brock and shrinks them into dolls of themselves.
Creepy.
Very fucking weird.
They didn't make it into the plushie range.
No, I don't think, unless there's like a group and there's a selection of them and both of them have ditto faces.
Oh my god.
Because that is a thing. Yeah, I love that.
I'm surprised there aren't more ditto dolls. Like
there's like one made every now and then, and they're just thrown into the batch. Like as far as I know, that's how it works. Like if they're making a batch of say like Oddishes or whatever it is, or fucking Staryus or Starmies, they'll make a batch and then just have one with a ditto face in it, and it's literally just up to the people buying to find the ditto. And actually people collect ditto as well, so it's great. So yeah, they're turning into dolls. Ash pleads for her to stop, but suddenly the jogger from 2 episodes ago teleports in between them. Ash obviously asks what he's doing. He says, sometimes you have to retreat to win. Because he's a fucking samurai now, apparently. And he uses teleportation to get him and Missy's group away. Sabrina steps forward, sees the dolls of Brock and Missy at her feet. And Sabrina just simply says, he's back. So, some background is going on here. Something mysterious.
Yeah, he was there whenever Ash fought battle last time.
And then he ran away with his invisible straps. Pulling him forward.
So that's what she's talking about. He's back, as in the guy who saved Ash last time.
Yes.
Is back.
He's back, yeah.
That's
it. That's all. There's nothing else to it. Yeah. I don't know why we're even talking about this. There's nothing else going on here. Nothing going on. Yeah, it's a mystery. So, the man teleports on the ground, but the others appear in the air and fall down to the ground. I'll be honest, I'm going to blame the guy on that. He teleported them away. It's up to him where they land.
In fairness, I think he was like, I'm fucking saving yous again.
Yes.
I'm not taking care of yous.
Yeah, fuck that, Although you say that, but they all fall down on him. Sure. And Pikachu is top of the pile as well, which is funny because Ash tells them to get off, and none of them realise you landed on the guy who rescued you in the first place.
Yep.
So again, I'm blaming him on that because you can decide where to go.
Yeah, if you're teleporting, you should be able to pick your landing spot.
Yeah, I'm thinking Star Trek rules. Scotty can decide where you land and where you end up. So it's literally you're going there and there and there. If Scotty just goes there, oh, you're underwater. Ha ha ha. Oh, crazy Scotsman jokes, No, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, we get a shot then of the Pokemon playing in the park. Bulbasaur's having a snooze, and Squirtle is chasing after Charmander, going, "Oh, if I douse water on you, you die."
You turn into a hunter.
We were playing Pokemon Insurgents, and there's a special type of Charmander that is a ghost, and it's just a skeleton of a Charmander.
Ah, cool.
It is kind of cool, yeah. So Ash is talking to the guy here, and he's wondering why Sabrina's such a tough trainer, and the man says Sabrina wasn't always like this, okay? And now we get backstory. Ash obviously picks up on that, saying, "Oh, you knew her before she was like this," and he goes, "How did you know?" I've been hearing stories, you see. And we then see kind of younger Sabrina, kind of looking like the doll, funny enough. Bending spoons in a wooden rack, then exploding the rack with her mind. Holding golf clubs, and we see Sabrina's mother, which we've seen in the picture already. He's trying to get the club off her. The father appears, says it's not a toy, and literally yanks it off Sabrina, much more aggressive. And her eyes glow red, and both of them are pushed back. So this is the awakening. This is why Sabrina's so fucked off. Yep. She just keeps tapping into the psychic abilities. The man continues then that despite being so young, Sabrina was just obsessed with being psychic. And we kind of see this really pretty fucking mansion almost in Saffron City, no doubt, and it just gets more and more dilapidated. It's just getting destroyed because of Sabrina. The more she kind of tapped into the psychic, the more insulated she was. She didn't want any friends, didn't want to hang out with people, and just never kind of grew up.
That makes your house messy.
Yes, it does.
She built the brick wall around her that she was taking out of her house.
That's exactly, yeah. So we kind of get that visual of Sabrina kind of surrounded by bent spoons and golf clubs just in a spotlight. So that's in a sense, that's kind of where Sabrina...
She's addicted to her power like a junkie.
A little bit, yeah. That's kind of how they're phrasing it in a sense. Yeah.
Like Evil Will and Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's actually connected.
Yeah, it is actually connected, to be fair. But it is that point where literally Sabrina has not necessarily grown up. She's just become more psychic. That's kind of the point to get into.
Got a mind of a 3-year-old or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the kind of the emotional. Emotionally, she hasn't grown up.
Yeah,
it's probably the best way of putting it. So again, the man says Sabrina's powers eventually force her parents away, and the whole episode caused a split between the Sabrina we know now, the teenage Sabrina, if you like, and then who wanted to become more powerful and more psychic, and then the little girl who just wanted to have friends. And that's why there's two of them. Basically, you have the tall Sabrina who's holding the doll. The doll is actually her inner child.
Yeah.
Basically trying to reach out. So that's how he's reasoning it. And again, as he's saying this, the man pulls out the kind of picture we've seen in the framed of in the dollhouse of the happy family when Sabrina was younger, no doubt before she started becoming psychic. And he reveals that the little girl isn't actually a doll. Sabrina carries around to represent what she was like before she started her psychic training, hence why the resemblance. But then also when you saw the actual eyes for real, they are just glazed over. She is actually a doll.
Yeah.
For all this time. Ash then, after hearing all the story, goes, "Oh, this all makes sense now. This is why you're psychic. This is why everything else. You were a photographer." I was like,
yeah, it definitely isn't her dad. No, definitely is not. The only explanation that he knows all this stuff about this child and her life growing up and her house is because he's been there because he was a photographer.
he had a Canon.
Yeah.
He had a Polaroid, and that's how he was able to be a friend of the family. It was like, oh, we'll get Jerry over. He's got a camera.
Yeah.
It's the only camera that exists in the Pokemon universe.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously, so it is a bit of comedy here, in fairness, because like Ash thinks he's got it, and the man goes, yes, of course. And then the inner monologue,
I've said too much.
Yeah. So he tells the audience basically, like, oh, here is the twist. I'm in fact Sabrina's dad, and I'm waiting for the protagonist to now say it. You're a photographer. And yeah, he falls off the bench in just pure anger as Pikachu just goes, Jesus Christ, even I knew that. I'm a fucking Pokemon. So
I don't even speak that language.
I don't even understand what he's saying. So he tries to explain it, and Ash, just totally oblivious, blanks it off completely and changes the subject about Brock and Misty being turned into dolls. So he says there's nothing we can do about that, says Sabrina's dad. The only way to save them is to defeat Sabrina, reminding him this is why they went to Lavender Down to catch ghost Pokemon. So he's literally going like, hey Ash, remember the plot? Yeah, get back to that. And Ash pleads case saying Haunter has disappeared, but Sabrina's father says he has to find it again because it's its only chance of defeating Sabrina and her psychic Pokemon. And we'll have to follow up with Haunter after this commercial break. But wait a minute, we don't have commercial breaks on this show, but what we do have instead is...
Who's that Pokemon?
Did.
Fantastic. So, previously on Who's That Pokemon, Bertbot, you bottled it.
Yeah.
So, which means that it is between me and James for the lead here comfortably, 31 to 33. That is myself, 2 points in the lead. But again, Bertbot, you have a chance to run interference here. You need to slow us down.
Yeah.
Or perhaps someone pulls ahead. So, this is your twist again.
Yeah.
What have you got for us?
I have... Not gonna say the name.
I have Jinx. Shit!
Okay. I am going to give you the Pokedex entry from Crystal.
Okay.
It has several different cry patterns, each of which seems to have its own meaning.
Okay. Right, so since I'm behind on points, I'm going to go first. And I'm going to go Jigglypuff.
I think I might have accidentally got this. Is it Jinx?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake!
Is this a case for going again? Because you said it before the game started.
No.
I got it from the cries. Because Jinx does have the longest cry in the game.
Yeah.
It still does. And that's the whole joke.
Cricketune?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, no, I had thought all of Jinx's entries were about it dancing and stuff.
It's a combination. It's the dancing and the cries, yeah. So
I was considering Jinx as well, but it was like no, everything with Jinx is it dancing.
Oh, she's so fucking livid at that. Oh man. Yeah, maybe at least we have to do Jinx again. That's a start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You okay about it? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have an angry nap again.
Okay, off you go. So that means I storm into a fucking 7-point lead.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in fairness, I'm next up on the round, so someone might have a chance to catch up.
Not me.
I said someone. I was being fair.
No, I'm next up.
I'm
going to be next up in the queue. Oh no, sorry, you are.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can be next up if you want to. You can pull ahead even more if you want. Anyway, so that's it then. So, comfortable lead for me as we move into the second half of the show. So, a bit of a scene change here as Ash and Pikachu are wandering the busy streets of Saffron City, which is nice. It's about time we actually saw fucking Saffron City because it's pretty big. He's wondering where Haunter could be, and we cut to Team Rocket. The Team Rocket motto being played over a bit of a little mini speaker. Jesse James are saying it, but it seems to be coming from a window cleaning platform hanging by a skyscraper. That definitely isn't the Sylph Company. Don't ask questions. They're obviously on it. They're disguised as window cleaners themselves and throw away the disguise. Now, let's be fair, lads. They weren't disguised as window cleaners. They got the sack.
Yeah.
Didn't they? And they're just in denial now at this point. Like, lads, you got frozen by a psychic and you got, like, kidnapped by ghosts. There's literally no hope for you. Like, you're fucked. So, they're on it. They throw away the disguises. Meowth tells them to cut to the chase and capture the Pikachu. Then asking what the secret weapon is this time. So, James is on this wave-crashed rock plinth. And he talks about this weapon that has been perfected for thousands of years. It's a fishing net. His secret weapon this week is a fishing net.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, they go to the fishing net a lot in the next few episodes. It's their go-to. In fairness, it's not the worst go-to in the world, but like, if it failed once, maybe stop doing it,
or at least tweak it.
Yes. Well, no. I think the joke was, I know there's a couple of episodes where they keep bringing back the net. Like the first time, it gets singed to death, so they went like it was a flame retardant net.
Yeah.
And then it gets shocked to death. It's now it's a rubber net. It's like, well, all right then. Eventually this is going to work just from pure spite than anything else. So yes, he shows out a fishing net. Meowth is very underwhelmed, but Jessie thinks, genius. Of course, why didn't we think of a net before? So apparently Jessie has lost all of her brain cells since the last time we met her. But Jessie says it's the greatest discovery since Einstein discovered the light bulb. They dance around, saying that it's even better than the chicken that invented the egg. But then they get crushed by a giant egg in that visual. James, of course, corrects himself and saying only true geniuses know it was the egg that preceded the chicken.
Yep.
And Jessie Clover's going, yeah, no, I knew that. I definitely knew that. Stop asking questions. Meowth just says his brain is scrambled and says to stop the explanation. So take a drink. There's the Meowth pun of the episode.
There's two in there. You two could double.
It's a double, yeah. It's a twofer.
Make
it double. There has to be a shot called Prepare for Trouble.
Yeah.
There has to be, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, we can add that to the madness.
Kitchen of Madness. We need to have like a pink liqueur, like a purple, like a scarlet liqueur for Jessie, and then a blue liqueur for James, and they have to like make sure they're not mixing.
Yeah.
And like a little buffer then for the Meowth.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll work on that.
We'll
work on that later on, and we'll get back to you. Maybe we won't. We'll die of alcohol poisoning, maybe. James whips the net from the platform and is stopped by Haunter that appears and pulls a face that spooks them enough to tip over the window cleaner. Mm-hmm. Jessie's grabbing onto the platform and James asks her to pull them up. But she can't because they're too heavy. Jessie tells James to be brave because if she lets go, they all die. But if he lets go, she'll survive. So, think of the team here.
Absolutely.
It's important that one of us survives. But Meowth goes, no, we can't do that. I'm a designated survivor. So, from what? You're a cat. Land on your feet.
Giovanni literally doesn't trust him to stay alive. So, has a designated survivor of a cat.
I mean, it's a Pokemon. All it does is faint, right? Right? Like, Pokemon don't die.
Hunter.
Pretty much.
They don't die.
Hunter.
They don't die, though.
Oh, okay.
They don't. The only Pokemon that's died has been Cubone's mother. That was the last fatality in the Pokemon universe. So, Too soon. It was 40 years ago, people. Let it go. So Jessie cries, saying that she thought the ghost Pokemon were gone, but they followed them to Saffron City. Haunter appears again and starts making more faces as Jessie tries not to react. So the idea is that Haunter's trying to make her laugh, and then when she laughs, then she lets go of the platform, and they all fall to their deaths. Because again,
hilarious slapstick.
Because again, shocking enough, we've gone through 4 episodes where someone doesn't crash into water for a change.
Yeah.
This time it's cold hard concrete, so there's no soft landing here, lads. If they fall, they're dead. So
the concrete breaks their fall.
Clearly, that's how it works. It's a fucking Tex Avery cartoon again. Again, it's that joke from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Thank God I'm animated, or else that would have really hurt. So, she keeps trying not to react. James reminds her she last she let go. Ponta pulls more faces, and Jessie keeps holding on, saying that they're trained not to laugh. They're stoic. They're Team Rocket. They won't do that. This is a bit weird one, right? So Haunter does a point and appears again, and he just kind of does nothing, but it's a point. I think what was meant to happen there, I think Haunter was meant to tickle Jessie. Yeah. Because it looks like he's about to do that. He's about to tickle the armpit or something, and it just he stops. The screen whites out, and we just see Jessie's kind of like punched up, blushed up face. It cracks, and then they all fall down. So it's like Haunter didn't do anything. She just waited for her to crack.
Yeah.
Or was it meant to be you get tickled and then you fall down? Because that would have made more sense.
I took it that it was tickled, but that maybe like there had been it tickled in an inappropriate place and it had been edited out for.
Do you know what? That could be it. That could be it. You know.
It'd be very shocking for a children's cartoon to have that.
But if it didn't even make the Japanese cut, that's the point. Because it's not even in the Japanese version either. So this is just a case of Hunter just pointed and like Jessie falls. So it's probably just the joke was as long as like the finger poke of death.
Yeah.
And then she falls. Yeah. But it's a case of like, no, I'm just looking at you. And then just a staring competition, you fall. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. There had to have been something to make her fall. So I don't know. It's a weird one. Bit of a mishap in the logic there. But either way, they're falling to their deaths. Jessie can't stop laughing because she's cracked, obviously. James can't see why it's so funny. I love that he's kind of sitting cross-legged just waiting for his arse to break. Yeah. Like he knows he's getting crushed from his own like pressure. Yeah. So it's like, I'm just going to sit down and take it arse first. Wow, that's a phrase.
Oh my.
Oh my. To be fair, if anyone would, it's going to be James. And obviously Meowth says she's going to die laughing. Again, actually saying die laughing in a cartoon. And they smash into the concrete right beside Ash and Pikachu, and they leave massive fucking Warner, like fucking Looney Tunes imprints in the concrete. So before we continue on, we should ask the question, lads. What should Rocket do?
Look, again in this case, I'd say they haven't done anything wrong yet.
No, so let's read.
We don't necessarily other than the net thing.
Yes.
Other than making sure they stay on solid ground the whole time.
This is the thing, right? So let's kind of roll the tape back a bit. Here's what the premise is. So Ash and Pikachu they're wandering around town in the city of Saffron looking for their hunter.
But Jessie and James don't know that.
They don't know that. That's the thing. Team Rocket are currently positioned on a window cleaning platform, and the disguise is available if needed. Rocket and Misty are out of play as they've been transformed into dolls by Sabrina. So literally, they have just seen Ash and Pikachu wandering around town at this point.
And it is probably assumed that they're not looking for Ash and Pikachu at this point. They're probably trying to.
They're working a shit job.
They know that Silphco and Rocket have some sort of brand envelope. And they're trying to see what's happening.
Yes.
I think they're just trying to find out wait, what's the boss doing here? Why are we seeing all of these people in Rocket uniforms? Around the place. Let's have a look. And then they get onto window cleaning platform and look, it's the twerp and the Pokemon. I don't think the Ash and Pikachu are in their plans at the minute. So I don't think.
I was going to say perhaps the best move here is not to play. So if you don't go for Ash and Pikachu, just focus on what Team Rocket are doing. Try and get in on what the actual what the crack is with Silphco. Yeah. If we're going for that, actually just focus on being a window cleaner and see what's going on.
Genuinely, it's just Haunters being a dick.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing we had with the last time with the psychic. Because it's they just got out psychicked basically. Yeah. So now they got spooked by a ghost, which again appeared during the day. Funny enough. Yeah. As we saw from last episode,
which means Ash doesn't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Or that's why Haunters keep disappearing. I know he's a dick, and we have established that he's just being an arsehole. But also maybe he just doesn't like being out during the day.
Yeah. Who doesn't really? I mean, it's scary out there. Scary and too bright. But it's a weird one. I don't think they could have done anything necessarily wrong or different. They were just there, and Haunter just cut them off the pass.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any better strategy than a net though. Is the thing. I mean, could they have swooped down and captured Pikachu that way? I don't know. I don't think from their position, it's a bit they're on the high ground, but it's a bit fucking too high ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although I do have a very kind of amusing image of them holding the Ekans. And the Ekans just slips, stretches down, grabs the Pikachu, just goes boom.
That could be a shout. But I think this episode, Rocket should just focus on Silphco and try and find out what's going on.
I don't think there's too much to plan ahead or to correct them on.
Yeah, I think so. Fair enough. Again, we don't have much of an answer here. I think Rocket has kind of done okay here. Like I said, what was the main target?
They're not the main antagonists this episode.
That's the same. They've been replaced by the psychic.
Yeah.
I love that. So anyway, Haunter does appear and Ash realises he stopped him from capturing Pikachu. Ash thanks Haunter obviously and says they should go now to face Sabrina. Haunter's going maybe, I don't know. I love the fact that he has just got big hands. He's going it's very he's very expressive. He's I don't know, maybe. Obviously Ash pleads the case saying Haunter promised.
I don't think he did.
And as we all know, Haunters live up to their ghosts are very Ghosts are very loyal and honourable creatures. Definitely not capricious at all. He doesn't want to be made a fool of again. And again, this is a bit weird because like once he said that, Haunter goes, "Oh, okay, fair."
Yeah.
I don't like seeing you being the butt of the joke unless I'm involved. So yeah, he says he doesn't want to have to help him out again after this, and he will hold him to that promise. So back in the toy town, Brock and Misty, our dolls, are sitting on a chair in a house, and they talk over what's going to happen to them. Misty doesn't know; she's never been a doll before, and Brock just goes, "Hate dolls." I'm a man, hates dolls.
Yep. Maybe he has been a doll before.
Now, I couldn't possibly comment on those allegations, but Missy obviously going like, well, I've never...
Misty has denied on her end.
That's true, she said that. Brock just goes, hate dolls.
Yep.
And I'm not asking more questions on that matter. Maybe he's been into some weird shit in the past and it's just like, it's scarred him for life. Maybe that's why he hates Sabrina. Anyway, someone appears and says it's up to Sabrina. Both are surprised, they all shriek, and the other doll says it's nice to have some company because she's Sabrina's mother.
And I like how so positive she is. She's like, isn't my daughter so great?
Yes, just pure denial.
Put
like
a roof over everyone's head.
And then takes it off and then puts it back on again.
Yeah.
Shouts at us. You have to be there. They can't believe she was turned into a doll, but her mother defends her saying, no, she's a good daughter. It's just a phase she's going through. I wonder how long... She could have been trapped into a doll for years.
Yep.
Like, I suppose she was kept out of harm's way in a sense, but still, it's a bit fucked up. Obviously, then little Sabrina takes that roof off then to admire her new dolls. She wonders what games she can play with her new dolls. Maybe they can have a tea party. And somehow Brock goes, no tea! Turn us back into humans! And Missy just challenges her.
I am a boy!
I'm a man, we don't drink tea. Missy then challenges her to a match, but then Sabrina says they'll just run away if she does, and she'll just turn her back into humans, and they'll run away. So she wants them to stay forever. Ashton yells out, and Sabrina goes, haha, I knew he would come back. It's like, yes, we know, you're psychic, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So Ash is standing there with Haunter and Pikachu. Misty and Brock dolls have been placed in the background, watching on the chair. So apparently just like, hang on, you two wanted to watch this, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was nice from Sabrina, you know, it's a nice way that she
or
did that.
Or just a bit of torture from her.
Yeah.
Chatting Friday, yeah, possibly. Sabrina asked him if he came back for some more humiliation. Again, that's probably why Brock hates Sabrina. Ash then not realising he cannot defeat her. Ash says he can't leave Brock and Misty behind even if she turns all of them into dolls. Such an honourable young fellow.
Yes.
Put himself and everyone else in danger. So little Sabrina says if Ash wants to be a doll, then she'd be happy to play with him. It's going to be one-on-one battle again. Sabrina's Pokemon will be Kadabra. Ash will choose Haunter. Sabrina again doesn't react as the Haunter has disappeared again. Comedy stylings of Haunter. Can't rely on him, lads.
Again.
So Ash can't believe it's happened again. Sabrina suggests she forfeits. Little Sabrina says that way he'll have new dolls to play with. Ash yells out saying Haunter promised he'd help out. Again, why are you trusting a ghost here on this? Sabrina calls Ash her new dolly. He collapses to the ground, but Pikachu squares up. Says that Ash says Pikachu doesn't have a chance, but Pikachu wants to fight, and Ash gets a little bit emotional over it. So even though it's a losing battle, they're gonna lose. So we switch into battle mode again. Pikachu uses Thundershock to start off, but Kadabra, delicious. I'm hungry. I've got food in the line now. Kadabra teleports away and avoids each Thundershock attack. Again, teleports does not work that way. Sabrina tells Kadabra to use Psybeam, which is a new move we've seen. It appears looming over Pikachu, waves of like psychic power shoots over from his eyes. So they actually like the literal, more of a Psy wave than it tells, but however. Yeah. Details. It seems to confuse Pikachu, knocks it back. Ash then tries to keep it in the battle and suggests a Thunderbolt attack. Thunderbolt hits the spot and Kadabra takes the hit. Ash thinks it's over, but Sabrina tells Kadabra to use Recover, which is another new move. Kadabra immediately heals, so he's all kind of like singed and like scorched out, and immediately heals from the bottom up from the attack, and both Ash and Pikachu look shocked. Sabrina says it's impossible to win. Yep. So this is where the actual battle ends here at this point. So again, to go over for what we did last time, a couple of weeks ago, nothing's changed with Pikachu. He still has the same moves that we're aware of, and Kadabra has like a full set now of moves: Teleport, Psybeam, Recover, Psychic. If anything, it's actually more of a slam dunk. Yep. Knowing that he now has Recover.
Yeah, that there's no coming back from that. Like.
Yeah. So again, we're not going to touch much on this. Like Pikachu is still going to lose here either way. The level difference, the Recover, and again, like
Gen 1 mechanics, Kadabra has very high special defense.
Yes.
Means that Pikachu can only use special attack.
This is the thing.
It's not going to do anything.
Pikachu's strengths are also Kadabra's strengths, but more.
Yeah.
And once you're kind of competing like for like there, Kadabra's always going to win.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But again, if you know from your Pokemon Yellow, if you can give Pikachu a Mega Punch or Mega Kick, oh boy, that Kadabra is going down. Because there's no defense. But unfortunately, Ash didn't think that far ahead. So, at this point, Haunter then appears in front of Sabrina, and as Ash looks on, Haunter floats around Sabrina, starts laughing at her. Ha 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 ha, he 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 he. Little Sabrina says 2-on-1 isn't fair, and Sabrina's dad then teleports into the battle, saying it's not battling against you, therefore it isn't against the rules. Again, real kind of dad talk.
Yeah.
What kind of officiate? How come he gets to officiate over it now?
We don't know what his shoot job is like. He could be a Pokemon official. Maybe he could be a ref. You don't know.
That's
I mean,
true. Like, all we know is he's also a photographer.
I have to say. Although in fairness, now I'm thinking he can't be a ref because if he's a psychic, then he's just going to go, you win. So what the fuck? Hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
I know. Seriously, that guy bottles it. You have no idea. Just
Keep
play
your
it.
fucking eyes open while I take this photo.
And then like forcing them open with psychic power. So yeah, Haunter then obviously keeps pulling more faces, including sucking up his eyes, juggling them on his tongue. I thought it was a really funny visual. Sabrina is blinking, which is a start. She's not cracking yet, not there yet. Then
But surprised.
yeah,
Caught off guard.
caught off guard. Yeah. So then Haunter just pulls out a bomb, like real fucking like Warner Brothers shit here,
Yeah.
like really comical stuff. But just
Like, this is Bugs Bunny in duck season and rabbit season.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much that kind of vibe, and all the better for it. In fairness, like it makes the episode better a bit. So pulls out the bomb from his mouth. And it starts fizzing around, and Serena's like, the mouth is open now. Oh, something else. She's actually surprised.
Yeah.
She didn't see this coming, because again, apparently ghosts are just like exempt from the psychic abilities.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the funniest thing ever.
Ghosts are hilarious
Yeah.
because they used to be dead. They're dead people. They died horrible deaths.
She probably killed them.
She did. They're all dead children probably, and now they're gonna play wacky, funny fucking cartoons.
She's made them into dolls years ago.
And they still have them there. It's like, oh look, this is you. Your name was Tom. You were 14. You thought you were brilliant. You died a horrible death. So as that's happening, the bomb goes off. It blows up. Obviously, everyone's singed from it. Sabrina, no response. Doll's going like, I'm destroyed. I have no resale value. And Haunter's still like laughing his arse off at it. Ash can't believe it, while her dad just starts crying because Sabrina starts smiling and laughs along with Haunter. And he says he has never seen Sabrina laugh like this since she started her psychic training. So Haunter has made Sabrina crack at last. And what I love about this in particular was that it explained why Team Rocket was put out of play. Because it was showing you Haunter's actual ability was to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So if it made Jessie crack, then in theory it could make Sabrina crack.
Right.
As
okay.
opposed to
Yeah.
saying like, instead of actually having like a battle between the two, let's say of like, Team Rocket being smashed up by the ghost. No. You cracked him, you made him laugh. That's just as good. And that was the idea. And I thought that was really good. I thought it was good storytelling. In a Pokemon. Yeah, in the context,
sense, yeah.
Well, it's not fucking like, fucking To Kill a Mockingbird or something, It's not that level, like, So anyway, she explained, like, he's never seen her so happy in her life. And Ash goes, oh, I see. You're their baby photographer. I was like, no. And again, he asks...
He is dense.
He says that, and it's how dense can a person be? And then Ash is like going for going, what's a dense? He composes himself and says he's glad that he came back because the Haunter has made her rediscover the human part of her heart.
That non-human thing has made her more...
The dead thing has made her more alive. What is irony? Ash kicks off because Haunter was meant to beat the psychic Pokemon and he's still worried about being a doll. Now, let's picture this for a second, Ash. The only ghost-like move he has is Lick. So do you think he was literally going to lick Kadabra to death?
I mean, that was the plan.
That was the plan, and he was going to be proven wrong because then he realises, oh well, yeah, it's a part poison as well.
I mean, he licked the Charmander.
He did. That's very true. I mean,
why not the Kadabra?
why not lick everything? Lick everything in sight. Claim it as your own. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Especially in like current COVID state. If you do lick something, no one's going to be touching that. Like, it's a perfect crime. So yeah, the father then tells him to look at the Kadabra who's rolling on the floor laughing himself, and Ash doesn't understand, thinking it's in pain. And the father goes, no, Sabrina and it are telepathically linked, because again we mentioned from the weird Uri Geller fucking spoof that they're if you're one of the command psychic types, you have to be psychic yourself. You have to be linked to them. So Ash's jaw drops near the floor. So little Sabrina starts smiling a bit and then just vanishes. The little girl is gone because Sabrina, the two of them are back together.
Friends.
But the two of them are back together, not separate personalities.
Separate personalities have recombined.
Precisely. And in doing so, drops the Pokeball to the floor. So Brock and Misty turn back to normal. The father declares that Pikachu is the winner, as Kadabra is unable to continue.
He's not the referee.
Yeah, his real job as a referee. That's why he was let go, because he kept spoiling the matches. In fairness, that would ruin every kind of fucking match, wouldn't it? Like, it was like chess going like, oh, I don't believe it. Oh, wait, shit, hang on. Nah, he didn't know. So,
guys, you're not going to believe what happens in 3 moves.
It's just like, it's like a psychic linesman at a football game going like, oh, watch this, it's going to be good. So, oh shit, yeah, onside as well, yeah. So later on, the team are waved off by Sabrina's family. So the mother's back to normal, the dad is back to is there as well. It's a happy family now.
Yeah.
And they have another member of that family, which is Haunter. Haunter has joined the Sabrina family, which I think is nice.
Like that, I think, confirms that like Haunter is one of the victims.
Or was it part of the family? Was there a secret brother or sister? And that's why Haunter clicked to Sabrina straight away. So the Haunter did something that he knows Sabrina found really funny.
She loves things exploding. She loves exploding.
Explosions.
That's how I died in the end. There was a gas leak.
It's like when she collapsed the house, she killed him.
Yes.
And I like this canon.
Oh, I do like this canon, because then he just went like, hang on, where do all the other ghosts live? Lavender Town. I'll go and be their friends.
Yeah.
And they all said, well, how did you die? Gas leak. My sister's psychic. Oh, I know someone like that. Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible. To be fair, I actually love that internal canon. That makes so much fucking sense, because the Haunter stays with Sabrina.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh, we even tapped something here. So yeah, they all say goodbyes. Haunter is waving away with the Sabrinas, as I'm calling them. I'm just going to call them that, fuckus. Ash walks on with his March badge, which is like the most generic fucking badge.
Yeah,
it's
so boring looking.
It looks more like a fucking Word is Original than a badge.
It does.
Doesn't it?
It does.
And now I want a Word is Original.
Yeah. We're old.
Well, now we know what we're going to have as our post-podcast treats.
Kitchen of Madness.
Yes.
This original. Sorry, a bag of marshmallows.
There we go. That's it. That's more like it. Brock says he's one step closer to the Pokemon League. In fact, he's actually halfway there with the 4 badges now.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of which he actually earned.
Actually earned by merit, yeah. Funny enough, Ash actually talks about that point. He wonders if he's actually deserved his badge or not.
Nope.
I love as well, like okay, so the first one he lost because he set up sprinklers. The second one he won because Team Rocket interfered.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Surge, yes, fair enough, you did actually beat him. But why are you losing, giving out now because your ghost type worked out? You got a ghost type. He made you win the match either way.
Because Ash played 2 against 1.
But he didn't. As the dad says, Haunter wasn't involved in the battle.
He absolutely was.
He wasn't involved in the battle.
If Sabrina and Kadabra are linked, then Sabrina being distracted by a Haunter means Kadabra is distracted by a Haunter.
But he never switched into the battle. He never attacked Kadabra. So he just focused on Sabrina.
Grand, so whenever he goes up against Erica, okay, Squirtle, you go up and you start pulling on Erica's... you start pulling...
Yeah.
In theory...
Pikachu, you blind Erica. Meanwhile, Charmander...
Set the entire place on fire. Burn the place to the ground.
What? Look, I only sent Charmander into battle.
Oh yeah, just that. It's a fire type, super effective as we know. But yeah... again, Missy argues trying to make Sabrina laugh was good strategy, which I suppose is in a sense. But Brock says if he keeps it up, he'll be known as the funniest Pokemon master ever.
Lol.
Because court jester and all that. Again, I love that all the other Pokemon masters are just no crack. Yeah. So literally, Ash just being a buffoon just lightens the crowd up a bit. Meanwhile, some cement is being poured into the holes made by Team Rocket, and they're still down there.
They haven't bothered to get up. They're probably paralysed.
They're being buried alive.
Yeah.
They're being their corpses are being buried alive, and we're just hearing their ghosts. Hilarious. James is pleading for them to stop pouring cement in as Niels is flailing above the rising cement. He's drowning in cement, and then Ash stops, thinking he's her Team Rocket, and Missy goes, "No, just ghosts. It's fine." and saying they've got more important things to worry about. Ash agrees and asks where they're going to go next, and it would appear Celadon City is the next gym challenge, which is actually true. That is the closest thing to them. Ash storms off towards it as the narrator plays us out. He says his adventures aren't set in stone though. Meanwhile, Team Rocket covered in cement going, oh, we can deal with a little bit of cement.
Puns.
Not a bad pun, but a bad ending, because it goes back to Team Rocket. They're covered in cement, and then he goes like, oh well, we can handle a little bit of cement. 3 more streams of cement come in, and they jump out.
The only thing I can think of is Hunter dropped a bomb down there to blast them off.
I guess, but it's wet cement, so the reason they can't get out is because it's almost serving the quicksand. They can't get trapped. It's like, oh no, sorry, now my boots are full of cement. Now I must go. What was stopping you in the first place? You know.
The adrenaline of getting concrete in their hair, not wanting to ruin their hair.
That's how Jessie gets her hair back. Yeah. Because it was all cinched the last time, so now the concrete has stiffened the hair back into place.
Yeah,
it's a weave.
Jeez, don't say that too loud, James. Fuck me, that's a very personal thing to say, No, I don't pretend that your hair is a fucking wig, do we? You know. Yeah, it is.
We saw it burn off in the last episode and it's right back.
Yeah. I was saying, we don't do this to people. That's a very personal. That's a deep cut, man. It's a deep cut.
No, it was burnt. It wasn't cut.
Sick of your shit, man.
Team Rocket blast off again.
So yeah, that's the end of the episode. No new Pokemon, nothing like that, because it's an end to the trilogy. It's an end to the sequel to the sequel.
Ash gave away another Pokemon.
Yes, so he's down to a team of 5.
Well, he has a Krabby somewhere.
He does.
In the build computer.
Yeah, he just hasn't used Krabby yet. It's there. He can use it if he wants to, but I mean, I guess Squirtle is there. Why would you bother in a sense? I like to see that he's focused on team balancing already at this point. It's like, I've already got one water type. I've got coverage. It's fine. But yeah, Krabby's just an afterthought, unfortunately. But either way, lads, that is this episode done. Overall, a really good arc. Really enjoyed this.
It's been decent episodes. A lot of content to talk about. I'm doing absolutely horrifically at this.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but
that's the only downer on this, is that I haven't managed to pull myself back into contention here.
Yes. You never know. Next week is a new beginning, a new start.
Yeah, we'll see.
You gotta start fresh up on your Pokemon facts, just reciting Dex entries all night.
Just singing the Poke Rap in her sleep.
That's it.
Electro, Biglet, Nidoran, Mankey.
Looking forward to continuing this high quality arc
story.
Yeah.
Yes, because again, as the last episode said, our next stop is Celadon City. But we do have a wee bit of filler before it's
something happens.
Middle of the road, yeah. Going by our rules, it's not a gym challenge, but it's on the way.
Yeah.
There's something on the way, and it should be interesting enough. But until then, guys, thank you very much for listening again. I hope you enjoyed the Sabrina trilogy like we did. We found it a barrel of laughs ourselves from the slapstick of the last few episodes. But until then, guys, thank you very much for listening. If you have been, please follow Low Blows for the rest of their content, including their weekly wrestling wrap-up, where I'm sure some crazy shit has happened over the last couple of weeks that we're not going to talk about because it hasn't happened yet. And we're going to break that fourth wall right there. And indeed, they perhaps are talking even more on the Ask Low Blow section, which I believe has been full of F1 banter lately because the season's in full swing and they've been all converted to the cause.
Mm-hmm. Good
season to jump in fairness. But if you're interested in that or other things, then jump onto the show as well. Maybe you have been watching this on the Nerds Roast channel in video form. If so, thank you very much for listening and watching. And by all means, check out the playlist for all our previous episodes. But until then, guys, thank you very much for listening or watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Jellyfilled on a Podcast.
Bye!
Bye!